この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo and I am here to mesh this dungeon. These dungeons ain't gonna mesh themselves and somebody's gotta do it, so it might as well be me. And here we are. We're gonna watch episode 17 of Dungeon Meshi. Last time on Dun Meshi, our various parties finally collided, which I've been waiting for and kind of thought wasn't gonna happen, and now it happens. Shuro, Kabru, Laios, and all of their respective squads are now all in the same place, and they're beginning to mind meld and figure out from each other what's really fucking going on. We left off with them realizing the bad that we've done, and taking it out on Laios pretty solidly. Shuro is not pleased. Kabru is fascinated, but in his words says, "Oh, what a terrible thing. Oh, how awful," while smiling so big and being so delighted and his eyes wide open. He's so fascinated and so interested. So we've got a complicated mix of emotions and interactions and mini dynamics between side characters and major dynamics between major characters. And I can't help but feel like it's all, I don't know, like pawns fighting against each other on one side of a chessboard and not getting that they're part of a much bigger game that's being played. And I think that's the idea that I want to feed into the drawing that I'm going to do in just a minute. In part because it's also related to like a bunch of stuff that I DM'd literally last night, and so I want to pull back and talk about some like real world stuff for a second. The first real world thing is that I'm starting this recording a little bit earlier than I wanted to, and the reason for that is because I was awakened by a group of workers setting up a wood chipper outside of my house. It's actually outside of the neighbor's house because it's a huge truck with a wood chipper on the back. The wood chipper's actually sitting right in front of my house, directly outside the window that's over there. And I imagine that once they turn that thing on, it's going to get quite loud, and I'm probably not going to be able to record. So I kind of want to get as much as I can done before that, and if that means the whole video, awesome. If not, then I don't know what the fuck I'll do, but I'll just play it by ear and we'll deal. So I wanted to get going fast because there's going to be a wood chipper. And also if there ends up being some like weird audio malfunctions that happen in the middle and toward end of the episode, it's probably because I've gone and tried to filter out wood chipper noises. We'll see. I'll use my judgment to determine whether to just stop the video and record it later, or to try to cut out wood chipper noises, or maybe I'll be lucky and they'll stay in the chainsawing phase that they're currently in over at the neighbor's house as they're cutting branches and stuff off of a big tree and lugging them over to the wood chipper, but have not turned that thing on yet. So we're under a weird time constraint. The second thing is that usually for the last 5 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, some number of weeks, I've totally lost track now. I've been DMing, dungeon mastering, and it's folded into a lot of the Dungeon Meshi discussions, so you're probably aware of this by now. Usually that's 2 days ago on Sundays, and then I record on Tuesday, and I take Monday off to just like rest because DMing takes it out of me. DMing took it out of me last night, but we did it last night instead of Sunday, and so I'm a little whomped, but I think I'll do okay. Okay? I just want to throw it out there as like a qualifier and a caveat so that if I fuck up really badly, I don't feel as bad and you've been warned. Usually I advise people really strongly not to qualify themselves, be like, "Oh, I don't really know that much about this thing, but blank, 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 blank." Those qualifiers just discount your own input every time, and it's kind of sad. In this case, I'm tired, and I'm gonna survive off of a cup of yerba mate, and we'll see how it goes. Everybody's together, sort of sitting around the table, trying to find a peaceful way forward and for a way for these characters to interact and work together, maybe, and that might not be possible. It's also unclear, given where we're at, if we can venture further forward. We were going to be getting back up out of here, but now we have access to Shuro and party and Kabru and party and their resources, so maybe we choose to do something different. And there's another factor, which is that while we can bicker and decide as much as we want on our own side of the board, as it were, there's an enemy on the other side of the board with a whole bunch of game pieces at his disposal and the ability to move them anywhere. One of those game pieces is a giant chicken lizard with a Falin head on it. if our mad mage wants to push that piece forward a little bit and disrupt what we're thinking through, I think that would be a really cool option. So, with all that said, I want to draw something, and I've got an idea for it, and so let's get to it. So, before I really start and jump into going super speed, I just want to tell you a couple of things about like the Deeb's game that I'm running. I'm running Shadow Dark as a system, and I'm really enjoying Shadow Dark as a system. It's super fun, and I went through all the potential like level 0 gauntlets for Shadow Dark and thought about options for them and whether I wanted to like homebrew one of those or add to it, and I ended up coming around to deciding that I was going to do my own dungeon whole stop. And it's built up into a dungeon that the characters have been occupying. They've been in it for the whole course of our adventuring, so like 6 sessions or whatever, which is maybe bad because gauntlet sort of dungeon things are supposed to take 1 session. But it's been going really wonderfully. It's built out as like a time capsule that was placed in the mountains outside of this like podunk nowhere town. At least that's what it is now. But it used to be the like home base and starting point for a group of adventurers like 1,000 years ago. And this group of heroes built this place to hold their bodies, to be their tomb, but also to be like a new starting point to revive the age of heroes, so that if following some prophecies, some random idiots wandered into this tomb and started to explore it, they would be fast tracking themselves to becoming heroic characters themselves. So it's a gauntlet that in world diegetically is built to function like a gauntlet, like a place where you go, a training ground, an obstacle course, like a proving ground would be the I think the right term for it. So they've been adventuring in this, and a bunch of the rooms are like different challenges and puzzles and stuff, which would be really weird to put into a dungeon because like I always find it very strange. It's like, why the fuck would a person building a dungeon put fun puzzles in here? And the answer is because they don't actually really want to kill you, they want to challenge you in this case. So the room that they just finished had an enormous throne in it with a big statue of a king holding a big like bastard sword point down, big ruby in the pommel, and the whole room had a bunch of worshippers kind of, or like courtiers, all skeletons, all bowing to this king. And on the floor it says, it's got engraved obey authority, or like respect authority, or something like that. So the characters enter the room and they try to move around a little bit, and then they step closer to the king, and a laser beam shoots out of the pommel of the sword and across the thing and kills one of the characters, and that's really fun because we're trying to kill characters a little bit. And they realize that they have to like bow or crawl before the king, so they crawl around to the back side of the throne, and there's just inscribed in the back in like scratch marks is "or not," and there's like a slot. And you stab the king in the back, and the king like falls over and crashes onto his skeleton courtiers and stuff. And the door behind him opens. And the door behind him opens to a room that's a 25-foot chessboard, 5-foot squares, like a 5x5 chessboard. And on the full other side, all the spots are occupied by zombies, just like ah. And once characters set themselves up on the other side, on our side, the game begins and the zombies start to move one by one. The characters do not have to follow the rules of the chess game at all. So it was fun for them to like try to follow the rules for a couple rounds and then be like, wait a second. The sign behind us said, fuck authority. There are no rules. This is some bullshit. And so they just gang up and try to kill all the zombies, and it worked great. But it's in that space of like the throne and a chessboard before it that I sort of think that I want to be drawing. So that's what I'm drawing, and that's why I've told you about this now. Even if that's a little bit silly, that's where I'm coming from here. So I'm gonna draw a throne thing. I'm gonna draw its occupant in just a minute. I'm gonna draw a throne, and I'm gonna draw like a chessboard pattern coming out of it. I think you can imagine who I'm going to put on this throne, given that the king himself is no more. And I wonder how wide I should make these chessboard blocks. Should I cut this in half or maybe in thirds? Or should they be not lined up with the... I think they should not be lined up with the throne bottom. And probably I should use a ruler. Oh, I suppose that these should be equally spaced, huh? Oh wow, I nailed an inch. That's so fun. It's maybe off by like a 64th, but I nailed an inch. That's great. Okay. 3, 4. I've always wanted to do... Oh, this one's angled more. That's okay. To do sort of checkerboard patterns the way that that Araki does on some of his art. Like some of Araki's art that got shown at the Louvre, Araki at the Louvre, oh gosh, collection, whatever it's called, has these really beautiful floors and spaces that are built out and like spatially represented by checkerboard patterns, and I really like it. I've always really liked that effect, so we'll see how this attempt at it does. Okay, horizontal lines here don't get warped, right? They just stay across, or do they get warped? They become curved. I guess I could do it either way, couldn't I? I'm gonna go with straight lines, just to see how it goes. And if it looks like super wrong, then I will have learned something, yeah? By putting this like back this far, I don't have to draw anything on this side of the chessboard, which is very nice. Very nice indeed. Maybe I should extend the board to the edges. Boop. Okay, and before I worry about coloring that in, I think I'm gonna make these sort of darkness behind. That makes sense. Let me figure this out. I don't think that the legs would be long enough to reach the ground. This is a small character. So they'll be like this, this. And I'm sort of modeling this after a Gurren Lagann wallpaper that I really like, that has Simon sort of sitting on a chair with a couple of characters around him. Let me go find it. This one. Yeah? And so I'm sort of starting there, but I think it'll be different. I really gotta figure out how to draw shoes, huh? Okay, that's fun. I'm just gonna black and white the squares and put darkness on the background and maybe put some color into the cloak and clothes, and that's it. I need to find refills for my black. Okay. Okay, checkers are boarded. There's like a blurple to the cloak. There's like a blurple to it. I'm gonna go over some of the lines that I've drawn with this gray. And then blurple. Oh yeah, that's a nice dark blurple. We found out this character's name when I looked up his voice actor, and it was like Thorn or something. I've actually forgotten. Oh shoot, I just did the hair. Oh no. Okay, we'll just end that hair there. Do this one long. This one. This one go this way. It's a little off. That's okay, though. Okay. And the one other thing that I need is fairly close. That's a little off. I think this is the color that I'm going to use for Thistle. Then, is there any I mean, there's, like, maybe a slight yellow to the hair? Like, let me maybe... Alright. Okay. Alright, already. Alright, already. The show goes on. Oh, let me put an accent on here. Here. Okay, we'll try that. Okay, that was fun. Mostly, I feel pleased that the checkerboard exists and feels okay, and that the throne feels good, and that it's recognizably the crazy magician. The fact that it is recognizably that character, and they're really small and far away, is a triumph for me. That's a big victory, because I'm pretty sure that if I had tried to do something like this a few months ago, it would have ended up being much harder to tell that that was that character. I like how parts of the cloak situation turned out, and I like how the hair, like, left bright white accents really hard. I think that if I was smarter, I would have been much more careful about the shape and form of the eyes, because they got a little bit of a child drew this googly eyes vibe to them, which is maybe not what I want. And then I really need to be able to draw feet, especially in shoes. We ran into this on the Dan one last week. I need to go do like 3,000 studies of feet in shoes. And then I'm happy. Okay, let me put this up. All right, we've got our mad mage playing a big old game of chess. And it's unclear to us exactly what kind of game it is. Is it checkers? Is it chess? Who knows? But I really think that he's about to move the queen. If Falin might be the queen, or maybe the red dragon before that was the queen, I think that's about to get moved straight into the fray and disrupt all our attempts at planning and thinking and considering the intricate moral compunctions that we have around the circumstance of using black magic to save a party member. All that shit's gonna get blown the fuck up if a giant dragon bird monster walks its way up to us. Let's see if that happens. Or maybe not. Maybe we'll just decide we're going to bounce up out of here and head up toward town and come back down a different time, you know? I don't think so. I think we are going, especially with Shuro's dedication, I think we're going to figure out exactly what's going on. I'm excited. Let's watch episode 17 of Dungeon Meshi. The wood chipping has not begun yet, so we're going to take our chances and give it a shot. I've got episode 17 up and ready to go. Sitting at 0 seconds, there will be 2 versions as usual, picture-in-picture in the description, timer on YouTube, beep beep timer to count you down. Let's go. I wonder who she is. It's got a great vibe. It's one thing that I can't criticize at all about this OP. It's got an immaculate vibe. Oh, yeah. You did it, man. I can't forgive you. Oh? He's kind of playing mediator. I don't need you to argue it to me. He loves her. This is what he's mad about? He's too fucking stupid. You might not get the chance to walk away. Oh, he's fully gonna walk away. Told him the truth. Just told him the truth, man. Zenbu. Yeah. Thanks, Kabru. It's very nice of you to talk that way about somebody you barely know. Okay. So from your perspective, it was deep friendship. Whoa. He wasn't aware of how much he'd messed up until it gets reflected to him by other. Ah, it's a harpy. Oh god, they full got titties. That's crazy. I mean, good. That's how it should be. God, they're horrifying. Well, that worked. Jesus fuck. And Kabru. Hi. She's blushing. Okay. But Kabru and the others. Yeah. We've really done wrong. The staff? Falin's body, though. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Well, the queen has moved. Oh, shit. I love how we show it constantly by these little pieces. Hi, Falin. More like Fall isn't. Gulp. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck you, Laios. Hey! Whoa! You gotta be fucking kidding me. It's so cool! We're in full shock. Okay, Shuro's taking the lead. Fuck, man! Oh! Hi, Falin. Oh, the slow-mo and the sweet smile is crazy. Okay, that hurts her. I don't know how you would. God, fuck, don't get smacked by the tail. Okay. We're losing. What have we got here, home? That's not an Undine, is it? Oh, no. Uh-oh. It looks like an Undine. Yup. I don't know, man. Oh, shit, the snap. No, it's both. He's wrong. That was her magic, wasn't it? Oh, no. Oh, no. Why is he removing his armor? He wants to be light and fast? Uh-oh. Buddy, get the fuck away. This is a bad time. This is a bad time. You gotta kill your own fucking sister, or you gotta do something. You just gotta watch as people attack her. She's just a monster. And it's moving near her because it knows. I shouldn't have done this to you. But if she speaks in her own voice, he'll stop. Fuck. Yep. Yeah. It's ogre. There's no fighting that. She's still in there. Fuck. He wanted to be quiet. He wanted to be quiet. It's a smart move by Kabru. God fucking damn. Oh, not smart enough. And Laios attacks too. Whoa. Yeah, under control, but... Okay, a retreat! Fuck! Fuck! Holy shit! That's a lot of resurrections. Anything's allowed, but not that! Murder and blood is fine, but not that. Uh-oh. Fuck! Oh, she's scrambling away? Okay. Oh my god, what a cut. Holy fuck. This is the worst. It's a lot of dead to carry. Okay. Okay. Right, because moving them... Whoa. Okay, we have a healer in our party. That's good. Holy fuck, that went so much worse than I thought it could go. That's smart, but I don't know that she's got it. Behetsu no Jutsu. She wasn't going to use black magic, but now everyone's opinion of her is tainted. It was the magician. Multiple parts. Whoa! We're gonna bring the elves here to kill it? Is that the boat? Running around eating monsters? It's the only way. It's the only way. We break her chains. We aim high and we break her chains. If she's under the dungeon's control, then we just need to control the dungeon. Hmm. He's right. Hey, do you think this is not serious? Yeah, punch her back. There you go. I'm not a fucking idiot and don't treat me like one. You want to take this shit seriously? We're aiming for the end game. Fuck up out of here. We don't need you. Come back when you're ready. You gonna punch him? Yeah. You little fucker. You fucking asshole. You think you're talking to me? You fucking telling me what you fucking yeah! Okay. I can't stand your guts. Oh, he's always hated him. He's always resented him. Damn. Damn, he's always had this darkness in him. Yeah, I was trying to be your friend. He's autistic. This is getting pretty silly. This is getting very schoolyard. One of them is completely avoidant and doesn't like say what he feels, and the other one can't read it, can't look into it. Yeah, children. Come on, mom. Come on, mom. Let's get some mom energy separating these people. And these fuckers can't stop arguing. Everybody's pushing Marcel out. Okay, she's allowed to do something. Damn, it really sucks for Marcel. Hi, guys. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, they're still going at it. Let's go. That's what matters. So, would you like this meal that I've been waiting to give you? I have the energy to fight once more! He gets back up and starts punching Senji again. Or punching Laios again. Okay, now we get to talk it through. Get some reconciliation, maybe? They're leaving. Oh, fuck. We're gonna get her as part of our team? Wait. We could squad a Sebi. Hmm. You sure? Damn. Damn. Hmm. Ow. You didn't tell her. You never told her, man. That's Shuro's through line. Yeah, it's terrifying. I've always hated. Oh, wow. Just tried to kill your sister. Means her real heart isn't there. There's a Skilla? Oh. Copper figured him out! Correct. And food. That's the first time Cobber's ever thought of somebody as being a challenger to his own path. Becomes the ruler. Yeah, and can you really trust Laios? No, 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 no. No, no, can't trust him. That's my job. I have to be the one in power. The biggest restaurant in the world. Damn, dude. Tamago Yaki! Fuck yeah. Harpy egg omelet. Yummy. Huh. All his scenes of seeing people get eaten by monsters? This is pretty good, right? God, the first half of this episode was such a shock. The whole rest of the episode has just been denouement and like just existing and surviving the first portion. Holy fuck. Yeah, for sure. Of course you would think that. Whoa. I'll give you a way out, not of the dungeon, but of the overworld of people's judgment. That's powerful. Is Kabru returning with them? Yeah, so we're returning. He wants him to remember his name. Yeah, because he's going to head down there too. We're back to our team! And a cat girl wandering around unknown. So she thinks it's her fault. I don't know. I don't know if it will, Laios. What an episode. I think it's a little overwhelming. I think I spend most of the second half of this episode um coming to grips with what happened in the first half of the episode, and I think so do our characters. Like most of the second half is recovering from that crazy fucking battle. So what happened to make that so terrifying? What happened to make that so, like, predictable, but also deeply shocking? And then, like, getting overwhelmed, overrun, a flood of blood. Wow. A little overwhelming, a little rocking. I'm reminded of a couple of times in trigger shows where this sort of tone shift happens and drops us into pretty significant despair and the loss of a lot of people. There's a portion of Cyberpunk Edge Runners that does something kind of similar. Very different because this is as written in the manga, I assume. This is an adaptation of the thing. But Trigger as a studio has a capacity to like leverage death and monstrousness and stuff, and make it really shocking. I found I found there to be some significant shock value in the beginning of this episode, and it's blended together with powerful animation and cool shots of Falin's like new body situation. Awesome monster design. Like, I agree with Laios. It's fucking awesome. It's so cool looking, but so horrifying too. It's like there's coherence and consistency between all the ways that it's drawn, and that's like our baseline for making sure that it looks good. But then it goes so many steps beyond. We've got the sort of strange and almost disconnected emotions on Fallen's face. We've got the curiosity about whether she's still in there, whether she's got consciousness as she's doing this, whether she's witnessing herself kill these people. It's all unclear. And then there's so much quality Sakuga blended in between sort of normal cuts that the whole sequence for like multiple minutes span feels like one ongoing, continuous, horrifying action scene. And it's like, it's a question of which characters are going to die during this. And so often in stories like this, when a big monstrous terrible thing happens, a part of my brain goes, yeah, but our main characters kind of can't die, right? Like, it's gonna be fine. And that is a detachment from the show in some way. Here, I didn't get that feeling, and part of that is we have resurrection magic, and so we're willing to let people die. But of course, if the wrong person dies, if the halfling priest goes down, we have no resurrection and we're fucked. So the stakes here feel very distinct and very real. And they're not just layered in with the monster, they're layered in with what everybody else does. We don't want Kabru or Shuro or their teams to effectively kill Fallen. We actually don't want that, at least from Laios' perspective. And we don't want to like run away and leave this be from different characters' perspective. Like, everybody has their own sort of goals, and all those dynamics that we sort of set up in the last episode are forced to come to the front, come to the fore, and be acted out over the course of seconds instead of minutes or hours of talking. We have to figure out all these really important things in seconds, and characters just act in those seconds, and some of them die for it, and some of them like act against each other for it, right? Fuck, man. So this overarching conflict between Shuro and Laios about the way that they're approaching the thing, the connection and strange, like, twisted dynamic between Kabru and Laios, as Kabru observes what Laios is doing, judges the action of the black magic, judges the interest, but is also judging him as a potential, like, competitor for the throne, like, successor of the dungeon, potentially. And then action, animation, horrifying fight, moment to moment, gotta do something, gotta take action, gotta move, gotta save yourself, gotta protect each other. And what everybody chooses to do over the course of it is like really impactful and really important. And then there's the goddamn monster itself. Fallen's new design is so cool. So cool. I mentioned last time that the sort of dragging herself forward with this bulk behind really reminded me of some elements of Maiden Abyss, and it does. And it kind of continues to as she's destroying and killing, and it's not a part of her own volition. But then she looks up and she says, Laios. She sees him and she says the name. So there's some piece of her still in there, however warped. So we can't just kill her. We can't just leave her. We can't. There's no simple solution. We have to break her chains. We have to break her free. We've made a serious mistake. And it's a mistake that we made together, Laios and Marcille. For the most part, you know? Marcille actually casting the thing and now has this looming threat of the elves from the west coming down upon her head. Judgment, maybe execution. Like, maybe being taken, having magic taken away from you, like whatever the worst thing could be, I imagine that's what they're gonna do. And Laios, I mean, it's not like a hammer's about to fall on him, but he has to grapple with what he's done to his sister, and now it catapults him forward toward a goal that he was already headed toward, but now it's necessary. Now it's required. He has to go defeat the lunatic magician and take control over this dungeon, and maybe if he can do that, I mean, if this magician had control over her spirit so much that he could mold her and morph her into this, perhaps we could mold and morph her and separate her from its essence, or mold her back. And, like, maybe that means she has to stay in the dungeon forever, but that's fine. That's where Laios wants to be anyway. What a complicated episode that's also really simple. It's really simple. We're just hanging out. We're not sure what to do. A big monster attacks. Now we have to figure out what to do. But the complexities of it are, that's not just a big monster. That's Laios' sister, and the evidence of black magic, and an abomination that must be destroyed, and a monster that's killing all your friends. And it's not simple. Whoa. Whoa. Okay, let's skip through the episode, particularly the sort of overwhelming action portion at the beginning, and then we'll connect that up with Sakuga looking at, and then we'll talk about kind of future expectations. And there's one sort of dangling thread, which is Akebi, the cat girl, still is here, didn't come with. That's important. I think we're probably going to run into her in some way, and I'm excited to. Let's pull it up. Oh my god. It's so funny that I talked about the tone of the OP being so, like, oh, what a great vibe, but what a distinctly different vibe from this vibe. We get this, like, happy-go-lucky, yay, we're all dancing, food, fun, little bubbles of light. We're right to it, arguing about life or death stakes, and then we go right from there into Chillchuck running in, there's monsters! And then we're fighting monsters, and then there's a monster! I love that we're right back to this. Really, though, Kabru's... Oh, man. Kabru's willingness to play the role of the neutral party when he's not actually neutral in order to push his own agenda, sort of, is really interesting, and something that we've got to look out for whenever we see Kabru in the future. He steps into the middle of this conflict that's not resolving, and then he just sort of takes this neutral perspective that's like, black magic's really bad. Was this really worth it? It's only natural for Shuro to be furious, and just, like, basically aligning himself with everybody involved a little bit so that he can get more information is the vibe that I get from him. And then he says, letting her stay dead would have been, and we get this shadow cutting across his face. And it doesn't work. Shuro doesn't agree with this, actually. Shuro, and maybe this is the information that Kabru is trying to suss out. Shuro understands, but he probably would have done the same thing. He does not stop, right? Shuro asks him, please stop. So please stop. I already understand what you're saying. And he just approaches and keeps going. Oh, yeah, no. Probably you understand that you would do this too. And that's probably part of what's making you so mad, right? I know that, but it's his attitude. This is it's a joke, kind of, but it's not, given where we go later with Shuro and Laios. It's not a joke. Laios' kind of happy-go-lucky bullshit makes Shuro frown every time. Like, every time he interacts with it, he's like, this fucking guy. Why doesn't he just act normal? So fucking annoying that he's got to go do stupid shit like play with monsters and talk to me and keep talking to me about stuff. I don't want that. I've dropped all these hints that he should have picked up on to leave me the fuck alone, and he won't pick up on them. And it's combinatorial from both sides. Like, Shuro's hints are non-existent. He doesn't actually communicate. He's not very in tune with his own emotions and very much not capable of actually expressing them, which is classic man stuff and classic Japanese man stuff. Like, I mean, there are there are other social populations that have it as bad in terms of like, oh, just internalize what you feel and don't rock the boat. But Japan is fucking up there when it comes to like an attitude of you take care of your own shit and don't put a burden on other people. So Shuro doesn't tell other people what he's actually feeling. That's part of why all of the women who are following him are so invested in his emotions when they can get any sort of grip on them, because they like want desperately to have connection with the real person underneath, and he acts like a suit of armor, right? He's not really acting out his heart. So then he only acts out his heart in these sort of grand gesture kind of ways, or things that take other people off guard, like proposing out of the blue when you've just been admiring somebody from afar and never actually communicated affection to them. But that's normal socially for him. Or like this journey itself to go down and save her. All the women who are around him are like, we know why he's doing this and we understand it and we want to support the young master. But it's also probably, they say it's the only time he's ever like asked them for something, right? So, like, it's really important to him, but what it takes to get Shuro to open up about what's really important to him is, like, miles and miles of effort beyond what most people would need. Even most, like, avoidant people, right? Male in socially conditioned to not talk about your feelings, avoidant styles, like, even they do better than Shuro here. He has it bad. And here it's just played for a joke, right? It's just that Shuro's sort of freaked out and upset in the same way that Marcel is freaked out a little bit by monster eating, and probably he'll come around, is the vibe that I got from this. But that's wrong. This is a setup for later when it's revealed that Shuro internally has been brewing resentment toward Laios this whole time. This happy-go-lucky fucker, and his attitude, he just keeps following you around. He keeps trying to talk to you. He keeps trying to pull information from you. He keeps trying to be your friend, and you don't want to be his friend. Which, frankly, makes Shuro a dick, right? I think this makes Shuro a dick. Partly because he never says it, but even if you're in this resentful space where you're really resenting somebody's attempts to connect with you, it's a pretty dickish space. I wonder where that bubbles up from in like real human psychology, because I definitely have experienced being on both sides of it. And I'm a little bit ashamed to admit that I've been on the side of it that Shuro is on, where I've had somebody who like how do I put it? Who clearly was more interested in me than I was in them, not necessarily romantically, but just like wanted to hang out and spend time and like make offers. And I kind of got I- it's not that I got a wrong vibe from them, it's that internally something was triggered by that. Like some aspect of maybe they represented something that I didn't want to be, or like a type of person that I didn't, or that I like maybe saw myself in and didn't like. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Or maybe, oh, oh, no, I know what it is. I know what it is. Shuro says it right at the end. We have the answer. Oh my god. Okay, I get it. I see. Well, I'll pass your words on to Falin. And he says, that's the part about you that I envy. And he looks down in this moment when he says it, that I envy. Okay, I know what it is. I know what it is. I can put a finger right on it. And, like, we'll pull back and say, like, I don't know what it is. The author wrote this. The author might not know what this is. They might have just written characters and character interactions that they thought were compelling and have no desire to indicate, like, strong emotional, psychological underpinnings. I think that's some crazy talk if you actually want to think that. I think that there's distinct intent here. Okay. What does Shuro find so annoying about Laios? One, his perseverance. Marcel should know how. I'm not familiar with this thing. This is where Laios speaks out to him like, there's still a chance we can do this. We're gonna take down the lunatic magician. We're gonna go for the gold, for the big goal. And I need Marcel for it. And at this point, he says, are you really going to use black magic for this? Just take things seriously, you fucking asshole. Shuro always takes things super seriously, like too seriously, actually, right? He doesn't have any fun during this. He's got no heart in it. It's all pragmatism. And it's not even legitimate pragmatism because he starves himself and doesn't sleep and doesn't rest. So when we're talking about seriously, hustle grind set burning himself out, but what he really envies is somebody who can see the bright side, who can have fun with it, who can find an alternative way, who believes in the future, who can speak his emotions clearly, who can say what he actually believes and wants, who's willing to pass information between people, right? And the last line where he says, like, that's what I really envy about you, he says, I'll pass your words on to Falin. And the undercurrent of that is, we'll win, right? That's the part that he's saying, I envy about you, I think. We'll win. We're going to succeed, right? It's not even a question. I'll pass your words on to Falin means I'm going to talk to Falin again as herself. And that means I'm going to be victorious over this goddamn dungeon. And there's no question to it. It's just a promise. He's just like, I'm willing to and happy to promise that because it's what I'm going to do. In Laios' mind, that's the one track he's on and he's going to do it. And Shuro finally breaks and says, that's what I envy about you. I think that in the instances where I had trouble interacting with somebody who wanted to interact with me, there was something about them that they embodied that I have repressed in myself and view as negative or not allowable. And so in seeing them embody it and act it out wholeheartedly, I feel resentment toward them for being a full person in the ways that I can't be a full person. That's it. That's it right there. Okay, so if I'm Shuro, I'm a true avoidant, right? And my internal world is like, if I have a problem, I need to take care of it so I'm not a burden on other people. And I meet somebody who comes around and whenever they have a problem, they talk to everybody about it. They get emotional advice, they get practical advice, they unload the feelings that they can't handle and then take them back from the person they're talking to. And like sometimes that can happen in a really unhealthy way where you are unloading a bunch of stuff on other people and not handling the things that are you problems, and that can be too much. But let's say that this other person is actually capable of doing it in what if we were a neutral third party psychologist watching would be like, yeah, this seems pretty healthy. This seems like reasonable seeking of assistance and interacting with other people and using your support network. And also these sorts of like helping each other with things are the interactions that build your support network. So like when you ask for help for somebody framed this in a really wonderful way. They framed out asking for help as a bid for connection. Like every time that somebody asks you for assistance with somebody or they can't figure something out and they come to ask you, are they really asking you for help with that thing? Or are they saying, hey, I have struggles and I'd really like to share them with you and be connected with you in the space where we work through struggles together? They're doing the latter, right? And if they're doing the former and they're just asking you to solve their shit, it's not the same sort of thing. But let's say I'm a total avoidant who doesn't talk about my feelings and I meet Jim Bob Bim Bob, who comes up and is totally happy talking about his feelings, sharing stuff, going back and forth. That might be like really like a lot of pressure that I don't want to be around. Like I won't be able to plug in and interact with that. I won't be able to provide support to them effectively because my internal world, I'm not allowed to do that to myself. I can't provide support to myself. I can't go seek out support. And honestly, every time they do it, it triggers the wall, the doorway that I have shut in me that I keep shut. I have that same circuit locks online. So they go and they talk about their feelings, and the circuit that's within me that says talking about your feelings is bad and it's going to get you hurt by authority figures around you or whatever, it's going to get you outcast and ostracized. That triggers, and I go, they shouldn't be doing that. It's going to get them hurt and outcast and ostracized. I should treat them as somebody who's doing something wrong. And so I'm going to. I don't like you. I don't want to be near you. I don't want to talk to you. Stay away from me is all that happens internally. But then we layer that in with the unwillingness to speak your internal truth. And Shuro feels that desire, like, I need to get away from Laios. He's too open about these things. He's too friendly. He's too unreserved. He's not restrained enough. There's too much pressure. He's too clingy, too cloying, too much, right? But he doesn't say that because his internal world says, well, I can't say that to anybody. If I say that, then that's going to make me a bad guy. And I can't say that because Falin is his brother, so I have to keep the peace and pretend that I'm okay with this fucking asshole talking to me, telling me about monsters and stuff, and asking me about stories about my homeland. I don't want to fucking talk about my homeland. I don't want to talk about myself. I want to sit in silence alone. Go away. Leave me to sit alone in silence. Grr. But he can't say that. And so it just builds and brews. And so Laios thinks that over the months and years that they've known each other, that they've built a friendship because he's never gotten any indication in the opposite direction. He's only got sort of stonewalling. And that is easily attributable to the fact that Shuro stonewalls everybody. Shuro never talks about his emotions. So he must be fine with this. He still sits around. He still lets me talk to him. He still chats back and forth. It's fine. He's cordial and he's polite and he's a classic Japanese man who's fucking fully avoidant and not willing to talk about his feelings. And he resents you for your willingness to. How dare you have feelings and be willing to talk about them? Shuro doesn't do that unless it's the biggest, grandest, most important thing in his whole world, and even then it's hard for him. I hope that I've gotten this, like, relatively close to the mark as far as what other people take from this interaction or set of interactions between these two. When I came out of the episode, I was like, I know that I want to focus on the action stuff in the first portion, and then there's this stuff that goes on between Shuro and Laios, but it's kind of a mystery to me, and then it cracked open for me, and maybe I'm looking at it wrong, but this feels like it's right on the money for me. Oh. Okay, let's go back. Monster sword! Red dragon fed on monsters! All these happy Laios moments. I don't understand what's going on in your head. I'll never understand. I can't help you. I feel like there's something important about this perspective in this line. I don't know what's going on in your head, and I don't think I'm ever going to. That part, it's like preemptive failure. There's a word for this, and I don't know what it is. It's not like learned helplessness or anything like that, but it's assuming that a thing is impossible, and then you don't have to put any effort toward it because it's just impossible. Like, I'm never going to understand how your mind works, and so I don't have to try. There's a flip side that recognizes that there's always distance between people's attitudes and perspectives, but that bridges can be made, right? Like, you've got your mind over there, and I've got my mind over here, and those things are never going to meld together, right? I'm always going to have my own unique perspective. I look out of my eyeballs, and I hear out of my ears, and those hearing and seeing get filtered through all of my experiences and the way that my brain has been structured over the course of my traumatic experiences and everything else. Like, we're distinct. But we're both human, right? We're both people, and there's a lot of ground and a lot of the way that we're structured that's the same, like exactly the same, you know? If you get poked by a needle, you hurt, and if I get poked by a needle, I hurt. And from those foundations of, like, we actually experience a lot of the world identically, and we can prove it. We can see each other, we can connect, we can build bridges, but that takes work, and it's a lot easier to say, that's too far away. That's too far away. Your mind and my mind are too different. We're never going to see eye to eye. We're never going to connect. So I can't help you. And then, bam, interruption. Group of monsters, and he just walks out. What have you done? I told him everything. Everything! I love Chilchuck's 3 frames here. This one. And then, is this on me? Did I make the wrong call? Kabru playing neutral again. Don't beat yourself up. He just needs some rest. Everything's gonna be fine. I'm sure that this will work out. And Laios immediately speaks his heart to Kabru. It's another example of Laios completely speaking his heart. The truth is that I have a lot of respect for Shuro. He's helped me a bunch of times. He's told me tales of foreign lands when all I've known was my homeland and this island. We see this friendship from one perspective, and from this perspective, it's quite a good friendship. A distant one, right? With a person who has always been cool-headed and smart, and those are things that Laios has always looked up to, admired. Not envied, though. Not envied. Envy is something you want to take from somebody else and make a part of you, right? Admired is like something you want to learn from them, something you want to strive toward. Or maybe envy is sort of the version where, like, they have it over there, but we don't have a bridge, so I'm not going to go and get it, but I wish I had it. For him to explode like that, we get this moment, and I think that Laios' voice actor adds to it a lot.
そんな彼があそこまで怒るんだ。俺は相当まずいことをしたのだろう。
I must have really messed up, huh?
このま
It's as though before consequences and stakes emerge and become really crystal clear, Laios doesn't necessarily know if he's done right or wrong. It, like, takes an external force to tell him that. Like, some things he's already figured out are right or wrong, but this, again, leads me to think that we're in spectrum space, you know? It's like, I actually need because there are things that are obviously right and wrong, right? And then there are things that are socialized that, like, everybody agrees on because everybody agrees on them, and that's really all that underlies them. And it's unclear that there's something materially wrong about them. And so with those, a person who's not plugged into that, doesn't have an innate awareness of the wrongness of those things, might do something feeling like it's totally cool, and then only when they get the ostracizing reflected pressure from other people do they realize, like, oh, I've messed up. I've actually made a mistake here. I've definitely done a few things like that where I've taken actions that I thought were cool and fun, and then other people have been like, whoa, you shouldn't be doing that. That's, like, not okay. And I've had to internalize those, like, in a different way than I think most people do. Yeah. Some of those are still the, like, embarrassing things that I think about sometimes when I'm falling asleep or, like, in the shower. You know what I mean? But that's the feeling that I get, is that Laios, until he says, like, I really messed up. Huh, I must have really messed up. It's like internally Laios doesn't have the calculus that's like, oh shit, I've made a terrible mistake and the world is going to bring retribution upon me, until somebody that he cares about actually says it to him and acts it out, and it's like, I can't be around you anymore. And then Laios goes, maybe too late, goes, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Harpies! Golly goodness, they're horrifying. I'm so glad that they have titties. It's sort of silly in, like, a TV anime, and they're also super desexualized, which I think is great. They're fully bird horror bird creatures, but wow, I love them. I think they're awesome and extremely deeply horrifying at the same time. And they're nothing compared to what's about to be coming up over the thing. The first splat is a harpy falling, right? And so we're like, oh, they're handling things. This is going great. No problem. Okay, but what about the knowledge? What about the truth? And for Marcille, she does have that internal knowledge. She's like, I did black magic and it's bad, and the elves of the West are going to come and execute me, or whatever they're going to do, right? And also, that curly haired guy, Griffith stares. He gives, like, a nice little smile. Ah, oh boy. Hey, should we clear up that treasure bug thing? Yeah, definitely. We gotta clear it up. But that's not the big problem. The problem is black magic. Shuro's angry, but I'm not sure about the others. They might be a real problem. And the evidence, well, if they can find the evidence, then we're really fucked. So there's evidence in the staff. You can, like, trace that something was fucking cast with it. And as we're in the midst of arguing about this, splat. Huh? Not a harpy. And she's here. And everything changes. Oh. There's still music. And then the splat. And then there's silence for a little bit. And then building ominous tones. Harpy? No. No. Okay. I love all the close-in cuts of different body parts. It makes the whole feel so vast and monstrous, as though you can only take in one portion of it at a time. Continues to be really cool. And each one sort of moves in an animal way, a monstrous way. And then the face. Oh shit. No. How? Can't be. Oh, but it can. And then the monstrousness really begins. Also surrounded by these harpies who also have human faces, but are monsters. Can't help but be reminded of all of the human feeling, but not really human monsters that we've had to deal with before. And of course, Laios' first real response is, it's so cool. Damn, Fallen, you got an upgrade? But it's a little too greedy. Goes for too many things. Wings, feathers, and scales? Too much. Fallen! No. No recognition. And Cobber's immediately in it. Let's get ready for fucking battle. What are we gonna do? And we're stuck. We're shocked. Don't hurt her. Try to restrain her. No, 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 no. Just run. Boom. Do we go right up to her eye? Yep. And then it's an instant cut to the smush. God damn. We pull the music out to let the sound. And then we bring angelic music in and slow-mo the feathers and the hair. With a big smile, beatific, disconnected. Some great cuts of everybody leaping into action. But it's all for naught. I really like this shot of Kuro pulling in and it's really familiar to me for some reason. And then it pulls out as he dig in and won't let go. And she screams, she's in pain. It's working, it hurts her. She's connected to the monstrousness. These little flashes of like full body that just move a little bit are so cool. And then we build up the tail. So it's head, turn, tail, whoop, and then this turn, and the whole thing in a wide in the next scene. Whoa! Okay, I love how these cuts are all glued together. So we're wide running in, head turn, huh? Tail turn, huh? Prepped, whip, spin, to follow, wide for the big spin all the way around, and then smack, follow, smack, follow. Oh, that's so cool. Can you do it? Yep. Sometimes it's very human, you know? This is like a human strangling, but it's inhuman strength and it's an inhuman action. It's just a monster using whatever limbs it has at its disposal to cause death. Just like using the giant tail or a claw. Undine! And it's an Undine that he named. Please make it stop. She's just confused. And Kabru has this he's frustrated by this. Or even contemptuous. Like this look is contempt as a visual expression. I'm not sure if that's exactly what Kabru feels, but he definitely feels he's pissed. I think it is contempt. You don't care how many people die if you can protect someone dear to you. You trolley problem, wrong, says Kabru. That thing isn't her. We've really torn it up, too. He's already stripping his armor off. It's not her, it's just a monster. And Laios looks up to see his sister, a monster, casting magic, just the way that she used to. Vaporizing Undines. Oh, Marliere! But it can even cast spells. Yeah, man. This is more than a monster. Kuro bites and Kuro gets smashed. Don't, you fool! Stay hidden! I like that we've built a connection between these two halflings. They've had like opinions about each other, right? She had an opinion about Chilchuk for a while, and now he like shoves her under the pot and protects her, and they hang out under there for a little bit. Fallen. Nothing. Same spell, and Darcy's Orbis. I think it's the same spell. Lightning and pain. And there's so much emphasis on Falin experiencing pain and Laios watching it happen and not wanting to see that. There's also a beautiful brush pen, impact frame. Oh, fuck! Oh, there are a couple more? Oh, fuck! Gotta love a good electrocution. Monsters are dangerous. Never trust a monster. So he resigns himself to this. Forgive me, I wish I could have switched places with you. Then she looks up with those eyes, with her own face, and a tear in her eye, which I didn't notice. Same as before when she was transformed. Laios. She's not gone completely. That makes it much worse and much harder. He drops Kensuke, and the monster rises above again. This time there's a bit of a smirk there, almost like, huh, it worked. I wonder if that monstrous energy can use the mouth and voice as one of its tools, too. We don't get to find out because Kabru takes his own initiative. Slice and stab. I mean, this is such a brutal, cool sequence. The plunges in and twists are so fucking real. And in last moment, she goes to smash Kabru, and Laios protects him. I'm sorry I hesitated. You're right. My sister's soul is under control. But we can't just kill her. The magician will show up again, so we've got to leave. We've got to get out. Then we get smacked. We don't have time to talk like this. And Kabru doesn't have time at all. So we're in real despair here, right? Like, what can we do? Fallen, wait, not that! This is such a silly fucking joke to put in here. Oh, you could become a monster, you could kill all our friends, but holy shit, don't show tits on TV. Oh my god, Fallen, you're your innocence, Fallen. But they have underboob and feather coverings, so they're totally legit. And honestly, pretty hot. I imagine that there's plenty of porn of that immediately. Is this the spell? I don't know what this is. It's a hell of a fucking explosion. We get this scream and this amazing set of cuts that I remember having an impact on me. Oh, yeah, okay. It's the initial scream and this cool style that happens in the beginning of it reminds me a little bit of like Dead Leaves style Imaishi stuff. But then it verges into being very much more normal, and then it pulls way back to this wide, which I didn't think would be kind of possible, right? It just fits and feels really cool. It feels like power erupting. And it literally is. It literally erupts from the ground in all of these spikes. We get all these individual cuts of everybody dealing with this in different ways. A barrier by Marcille, and it's warping all of them around her and pushing. Some of us are not so lucky. I love these sort of chaotic, geometric, like, there's debris that has sharp lines and angles. The lightning itself has, like, jaggedness to it. And the way that it plays with light and shadow and dark and contrast in these sort of blocks and shapes that then jut upward. And then we replace a lot of those debris pieces with these splatters of blood, and we interrupt the geometric nature of it with chaos. It's really cool. She stands and weeps or holds her face, looks up, ready to attack, but no. Too much damage, and so she flees. And the cut that we get here is probably the most impressive to me overall. There's this weightiness to the way that it drags and scrambles and can't get purchase, and they match up perfectly with the background elements that are torn through. You see the leg like bending through and scraping down, and then we get this upside cut that's even more complicated, I think, as it sort of scrambles through. Ooh, whoa! There's a real element of like is it The Ring with the girl who's like on all fours and just like and then scrambles. There's a real spookiness to it, and it's matched up by the weightiness of this huge creature. It's like a thud when that foot lands, and then the whole thing is sinuous and kind of snake-like and wrong. It's just wrong. Wow. And I love the accents and sort of shadows on the tail streaking by. So cool. The ability to swing the Sakuga hammer when you need to and make really complicated, really awesome scenes look really complicated and awesome makes your anime really good. It's okay, no, it's one of the elements that you can leverage to make your anime feel really good. It brings incredible visual and experiential peaks to what's already like a really fun emotional circumstance. Whoa. What a disaster. What an absolute disaster. There are some like there are some episodes of Vinland Saga that feel this way. This level of like, oh shit, we're fucked. Oh shit, people are dying. Like a bunch of characters are dead. We're fucked. Things are not going to be the same after this. There are a couple episodes of Cyberpunk Edge Runners that are like this, to come back to a trigger context. Man, what a thing. What fun. What should we do? We've got a Resurrector boy. I can't revive anyone. No, and we can't lose any of the spilled blood. Resurrection, again, always looks really freaking cool. Where's the monster? Bring back that woman first. Kabru intuits that she has magic and can maybe resurrect people. Please do. But she says, so now I owe you. My guess is you're after a different spell? I don't think we've had it implied what Kabru might be after here. Is this saying, like, separately outside of this circumstance, Kabru wants a spell from her? Oh, sure. I'm curious about this. It's a little... Never mind. It's a little hanging wrinkle of a thread. Marcial asks both of the other magicians if she can use basic resurrection magic to help too. And both of them say, no, you're bad. Stay the fuck away from this. This is the real cost of using black magic, is other people find out and they stop respecting you. It really sucks for Marcial. Don't you lay a finger on them. I wouldn't. So then why did she look like that? What did you do? You did this. And Marcial's like, no, like, I didn't, but I definitely opened the door to it. There's some deep shame that's brewing in Marcial around this. And we're going to have to see. I want to keep an eye on her as we move forward, because we don't resolve that portion of things. It's just to move forward, and like, I wonder if she's going to trust in her own magic and in her own judgment moving forward. I think she might have trouble with it. The lunatic magician would have transformed her. I'm handing Marcial over. I can't kill that thing, but I can't let it roam free either. Okay, so here is Shuro's clear-cut, pragmatic perspective, right? I want to free her soul from the dungeon and let her rest in peace at least. And this is the only path that I have forward to do that. The elves will know how. So confess to the elves. No, there has to be another way. No, give me a break. What the fuck have you idiots been up to? Another way, and now we have our conflict set up. You're just gonna do different monster parts until she's back to normal? What is your idea? Tell me. He reaches out, grabs his hand. Well, we'll do the only thing we can. We will defeat the lunatic magician. Shuro sweats. We'll rewrite his orders. I'm not familiar with this sort of thing, but Marcial should know how she does. She'd be the only one. So you can't take her. You really gonna use black magic to fix a problem caused by black magic? And Laios, why don't you start taking things seriously, is where Laios slaps him. Because Laios is serious. And coming from Shuro, given the way that he's gone about this, they cannot see eye to eye on this without conflict. They have to churn through this. There's a different kind of conflict that they could engage in, that they could churn through this and figure out some bridging, some like gap closing between them. But Shuro has already expressed that he's unwilling to do that. He does not believe they're ever going to see eye to eye. So Laios slaps him and then regrets it. Whoa, wait, hold on, sorry. Oops, and then a punch. And that opens the floodgate. Like, finally, Shuro can act out his emotions completely. But Laios doesn't give up, right? Like, in a previous world, Laios might have been a lower level adventurer, and Shuro might have knocked him on his ass, and Laios might have just chilled. But Laios isn't like that. So we get determination is what comes up, right? This is like boxer got hit by a punch face. Like, oh, you fucking sure about that? He brings it right back, and he does knock Shuro to the ground. This is all like, it's a direct interaction, but it's also symbolic. Yeah, Shuro doesn't have a leg to stand on. Bam, he's down. Laios gets to speak his piece from a standing position from above him here. You're stronger than most adventurers, and I'm not the strongest. I don't have everything, but we've at least been eating and sleeping, which is silly. It's silly, but for Laios, this is what being serious means, right? There's serious about something. I'm so serious about it that I won't do anything else until I've reached the goal, including all the things that I need to do to support myself in order to reach the goal. But if you're actually serious about it, you zoom out, you view yourself with your own failures, your own weaknesses, your own incapacities, and you find the ways to shore those up. You find the resources and the people to lean on and the ways forward. We are more serious than you are. How dare you? I also really like the sort of it goes from one side to the other over the course of this. Here's what I know. And we pull back, and he's like moving back and forth and getting really animated. And the other hand comes in. Yeah. I really like it. Listen, we will do it no matter what. And Shuro is kind of taken back. You aren't needed. Go rest. Go take care of yourself. He's muttering, and then he punches him. Shut the fuck up! This fight isn't over. I have my own plan. Listen up, let me tell you how it really is. And he spills forth. The truth is, I can't stand your guts, he says. It might not be about your guts. It might just be, that's the thing I can't stand about you. I tried to look into the translation. I wasn't able to figure it out exactly. I think he just says, that's what I've never been able to stand about you for a long time. You're thoughtless, dense, and have the worst timing. And we get the same scenes that we saw as kind of beautiful from his perspective have been cloying and clinging and pushy, and he's just been tired and not into it and embarrassed around Falin because you're present. Are you two eating together? Count me in. We're friends now, right? And always third wheeling. And it was even worse because you're a good guy. Because you're not an asshole about it. You're just being cool and fun. So I can't like say anything about it. Because then I'm the bad guy. Right. Why don't I just end you, take Marcille, and I'll do it myself? Well, you should have told me. If you couldn't stand me and thought I was dense and had terrible timing, then why didn't you fucking say so? Why'd you stay quiet and let me keep trying to be your friend? And his response is like, you should have picked up on my hints, bro. You should have made more of an effort to notice the hints that I was putting down that said that you're not my friend, and I don't want you around. Why would he ever possibly? And Laios' true core is like, how could I do that? You were my first friend. I was excited. I wanted to get to know you. I care about you. And this devolves into childhood schoolyard pushing and claw your fucking eyes out. I was too excited to realize another thing I can't stand about you. You act all honest, but your honesty stresses people out. It stresses you out, right? Because in truth, Shuro has like a shame complex around honesty, around honest expression of emotions. And so when somebody else, Laios, honestly expresses his emotions foolishly and sillily, and people just go along with it, it's like, that's antithetical to Shuro's internal worldview. He's like, you're not allowed to do that. If you do that, you get punished and people hate you. Right? That's what happened to me when I was 4 and I tried to express my emotions and my mom and dad got angry and hated me. right? Because they had internalized the same thing and passed that down, blah, 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 blah. And here we go. And so he believes that that's a universal experience that people have around Laios. It's not, right? But because of that, he's able to judge Laios and separate from Laios. And he has to separate from Laios because if he were to try to like actually have compassion for Laios and to understand those parts of Laios, he would have to understand the parts of him that are like Laios. And he can't do that. Those are closed off. So you have to cut him off too. Fuck, man. How was I supposed to know? You never speak up. You don't even eat. You haven't put in half the effort that Marcial has. We really don't have time for this garbage. Yeah, I must have raised him wrong. All these people are dead, and we're low on blood, and they're just arguing. And she tries to ask. Fine, you can heal the wounded. And she brightens up so much. Marcial really needs a path toward, like, self-respect, toward regaining some self-respect. What's up, guys? So we get everybody coming together and nursing their wounds. Except for these two. Still beating each other down. Don't you see, Shuro? You might be a better adventurer, but I'm better fed, and so I'm going to be able to fight better. Damn it! And then we bring over the food. So it all feeds into that core beginning portion. You've got to be fed to try to do this, to try to endeavor like this. You've got to take care of yourself. You need fuel. But also, you need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of your own internal needs. And a huge part of the conflict that's happening here is that Shuro is not honest with himself about his own needs. About what he actually wants. And he's not, let alone being honest with everybody outside of himself. So we're able to conclude a little bit once he's fed a little bit and we've fought it out and gotten our energy out. We're able to actually talk without these like confusion layers between us. What are we going to do next? We're going home. We're going back. We're going to leave Asebi. Please forgive our inadequacy, the squad says, but he's able to say, you did your best. Thank you. I'm sorry for dragging you into this. They all freak the fuck out, like, emotions from the young master? We might have opened the floodgate a little bit. I'll never set foot on this island again. And he's gonna report them. So, probably the Elves of the West are gonna find out somehow regardless. I wish I could have returned with Falin. And the fool, poor fool. He proposed to her out of the blue. He's always been fascinated with her, enamored with her. He's always loved her, but he never told her. I never actually brought any of this up with her. At Shuro's core, his truest conflict is getting in touch with his own feelings and being able to express them to the people that he cares about before they're gone. What a character. I see. Well, I'll pass your words on. That's the part about you that I envy. Wow. Wow. Well, we learned something, didn't we, Kabru? And Kabru's learning something too. This Laios guy really loves monsters. He's dedicated too. Nobody I've ever met has his level of knowledge and motivation. He could really pull it off. But what then? Does he become the lord of this dungeon? Is that an acceptable outcome for me, Kabru? What will he do with this city built by black magic and all its delicious monsters when he inherits them? Will he quietly seal the dungeon? We get this little frame of Laios, just bruised and battered, thinking about monster parts, obsessed, single-track minded. And it's like, wow, yeah, he could really do it, couldn't he? Huh. I wonder what depths of horror that might take him to. Whether it will change the pieces of him that are honest and caring and human. We end with hunger. Tamagoyaki. Delicious. How do I get out of this? Nah, it's not bad. An escort to help you flee? Maybe. Don't die? Glad we got to chat. Yeah, we're gonna meet Kabru again for sure. Next time. Let's go. It'll all work out somehow. We march into deeper darkness. We're not going back up. Oh, the joys and complexities of a bigger squad are gone now, and it's just the team that we have moving forward deeper into a dungeon that, oh man, the stakes have been elevated, that's for sure. I'm reminded of like episode 1 or 2, and I was like, is this show gonna have stakes? People are like, don't worry about it. This is gonna have some stakes for sure. Oh, yeah, these are some stakes. I really like the way that the conflicts brew out of the interpersonal conflicts and then resound through the interpersonal conflicts. It's like, yeah, it's like they emerge out of this conflict that has been set up between the characters, and then the actual fighting and combat of it are a part of the way that it gets resolved. In some ways, reminds me of Dan with the like ethereal stuff as subconscious layer. Okay, let's go check out Sakuga Brewer for the episode. I want to find out who did some of the stuff around the dragon. Okay, these are order scored. I'm gonna grab the top 2 rows. Oh, Sushio. Oh! Oh, that makes so much sense. I know exactly which cut that is. Okay. Sanomiya Tetsuya. This is for harpies flying. Oh. Hut thunk. Hut thunk. That's nice. And then all the harpies. Ha 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 ha. Cool. Haruki. This is our boys punching each other. Oh, is this... no, this is not where he stands up above him. This is just direct facial. It's a great scene. Haruki and Artist Unknown, more of the same scene. Here's our actual punch. And the back and forth. The interplay between character levels, like up high, down low, is really solid. This is Artist Unknown with the Undine, and then her doing some magic. Oh yeah, and slurping the Undine up. It's really beautiful. I wonder if it's the same person who drew the Undine later. I bet that you could figure out who it is based on this water animation, because it's really distinct, with these sort of bubbles all around it. I'm watching it over and over, and it's freaking gorgeous. Whoa, okay. Yoneda, Atsushi Yoneda. He did confirm he animated Tade getting yeeted. So this would be Yoneda on that, like, segmented section of the dragon spinning, which is cool. I want to go look at Yoneda really quick. Oh, Yoneda was on the first, like, dragon fighting cut? Okay. Oh, this is when spirits are emerging up in the corner. Lots of character acting. Okay. Oh, this is getting dragged up by the whoop! And then the tentacles. And character acting. Okay. Cool. Nothing that kind of looks the same sort of big, segmented movement style stuff. But cool. This is Manami Seki and Artist Unknown. Lots of strong drawings here. Copper at 35 looks great. Oh, which is right where we are here. Yeah, does look great. Honestly, I thought that this whole sequence of Kabru's stabbing looked really awesome. It like cuts to the knife raising and then cuts in for the stab in a way that cuts up, cut in. Yeah. Ching, shing. Oh. I think that this moment here where she raises the arm and the taloned wing raises as well as this like big extra punch, it's got some huge Symphogear Hibiki punch hamster vibes, but in the scariest possible way. Kind of fucking dope. And then some great close-up facial shots. That is awesome, isn't it? That's awesome, too. Yeah, some really strong drawings is what the person in the comments said, and I agree. Yushihori. Oh. Whoop. Oh, and the big fly. And then drops down to our level. Boom. And then cut with the eye through. Smash. Fuck. Takafumi Cheetah. Pulling the knife out, and then the titties. Don't do it! Aww. That's pretty sexy. Yoshitaka Mano. Oh, for this big... From Rin? I love the camera moving in and out, and then it follows her arm back. Or, I guess it doesn't follow her arm back, it just crosses through. Boom. We pull the angle around in so many cool places over the course of these couple seconds. We're like down on her left shoulder, up over to the right, out to the full distance. That's really neat. And then there's all this crazy light effect, and then those amazing impact frames and brush pen moments and the kind of like electrified skeleton vibe. I want to look at Yoshitaka Mano. Okay, that's his top cut. Grab these couple as well. Oh, it's all the character acting when they're little kids? This is where we're sneezing, and this is between Kano and Mono. Do we have numbers for... Oh, 48 to 51 is Yoshitaka Mano. Adieu. Adieu. Okay. Oh, the sword guys. Wow. But nothing that looks like this setup and blast from Rin. This is so cool. It's so different. I love it. I love it. As like a video game character doing their special move, you know? Like you fill up the meter and you push the button and it cuts to an animation scene of them doing their special move before it blasts the screen with lots of lightning in a fighting game. That's what I feel like this is. And it's just like, yeah, 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 yeah. So freaking cool. Okay, this is the other mono that I was looking at. This is another mono that I was looking at with characters running around and stuff. Okay. Yoto! Oh, with the Wakame shadows. When I said that when we have like all this darkness, it feels Dead Leavesy, now it makes sense. I knew we were missing a Kanada style animator. Yeah. Yeah, this part right here, and then this is fine. Then that shit's fucking cool. And then boom, 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 boom. And the shadows on the things are all Kanada style vibes with the debris in front. And it really feels like this could be a frame from Dead Leaves. And this could be a frame from Dead Leaves. Everything in the middle is just like normal. Normal stuff, Dead Leaves. Okay, Yoto. Also Yoto. Oh, this is the scrambling around with the thing. Oh! Oh, this cut! This is Yoto! From JJK, and this is where we get a Giga Drill break, right? Yep. Yeah, pretty much. But with all the hands and... yeah, we're in a true Kanada style land. Awesome. That's so fun. This is Amamiya, so this stood out to me a lot. The Kuro cut as he sort of barks, and then as he approaches, and he did do a bunch of Gridman. I'm sorry, a bunch of Gurren Lagann. And Kill la Kill. Okay, that's why it's so damn familiar. And Promare. Yeah, these big soaring through space, flying forward kinds of things. That is not unfamiliar. Okay, I got it. Got it, Amamiya. Very cool. Very freaking cool. Especially with, oh, actually, that one of Scar from Fullmetal Alchemist is great, because we've got these, like, strong facial expressions and then big movements matched together. And that feels very much like what we have here, as we get strong facial expressions and big movements. Nice. And finally, we know what cut this is. This is Sushio. Runs past, scrambles up the wall perfectly, with all the weight in the world and all the... Did Sushio do the dragon in Freerun as well? I don't think so. Sushio has too many insane styles and too much gorgeousness to, like, actually attach that to that scene. It's what actually shows through in that scene is not this stuff, but which is like the sort of highly animated Kanada style awesome insanity. But from Sushio, what we see in 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 this scene is monster movement and biological stuff and fluidity and weight and, like, true incredible capacity as an animator. Oh my god, the way that the mass of it slithers by in that last couple seconds is so much. It's so much. What a staff, what a cast, what a bunch of talented people working on this ding dang show and making episodes like this really come to life. Incredibly impressive animation sequences, incredibly, like, violent and scary and sudden uh uh sort of acceleration from talking about stuff to dealing with it in the moment, no choice, no chance to think, gotta just act, to a bit of a denouement and a recovering from that. And wow, if we were setting up a chessboard and we were getting our party all lined up on one side of it, this move by the magician to bring this monster forward, to push the queen into the fray, has had probably the exact desired result. It has separated all of our parties out, and our squad of 4 is left alone once more to delve deeper. Okay, thanks so much for watching me watch through this episode of Dungeon Meshi. This was a lot. Fuck, man. The consequences of using black magic are dire indeed. Let's see if we can fix this before they come down upon us. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate ya. You can get early access to the next week's on the Patreon linked in the description. Otherwise, I'll see you right here next week on YouTube for episode 18 of Dungeon Meshi, and we'll see what our characters get up to next. Thanks so much for watching. See you next time. Peace. Oh wait, I didn't say much love. Much love. Peace.